ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Amajal Knowles with your ZNS Total Sports on this Labor Day holiday. June is Ladies Golf Month. You can tell behind me as you can see the lovely ladies of the women who play Flamingos Golf Club 242. Now, before I tell you what these ladies are up to, Long Island Regatta is in full swing, and our Charles Fisher was there and filed this report.
It was not a good day for the A-class sloops. As you can see in the background, the sails are down, not enough wind, so they were unable to get out today. So they'll be sailing back-to-back races come Saturday. And yesterday they did sail one race in the A-class, the first series race. But as we heard from Chester Fox earlier today, that race was a no count.
Yeah, what happened was at the start of the race yesterday, actually the race shouldn't have even been started because I think we had probably less than 2 mile an hour winds, and I went ahead and the guys was pressuring me to start the race. I went ahead and did it anyway. Went ahead, but against my better judgment, and started the race anyway. And then when I realized they were both going home, and then I went and the head sky got turned around by the Southern Cross. I went to see it happen. Then I got caught up in their rope and everything, so I impeded their progress. So I told them, I said, this race shouldn't be going on anyway. I'm going to stop the race. So I went and I hailed the lead boats. The good news, the Red Stripe was in second at the time, Running Tide was in third at the time, and Legend was in fourth at the time. And if they want to be honest, all of them could tell you, I went and hailed them. I said, this race need to stop and restart, but they continued to sail. And I went again and I told them, I said, we need to stop the race, but they continue to sail. So I said, you know what, I'll explain. And then the Air Sky, the captain of the Air Sky, he wrote a formal protest. I told him to write a formal protest, and we'll deal with it. And we had a protest committee have a look at it, and they felt that the race should have been thrown out, and I support that decision 100%.
Now the regatta will wrap up on Saturday. Xena right now the leader in the C class, having won both series races today. The B class, they'll also have to race 2 races come Saturday, and hopefully the A class can get in all 3 of their races. In Salt Pond, Long Island, for this 52nd regatta, I'm Charles Fisher for ZNS Total Sports.
Well, the ladies of the women who play Flamingos 242 Golf Club are holding a series of events in honor of June being Women's Golf Month. The events inclusive of a church service and an open clinic, as well as a members and guest social, which took place at the Grey Cliff Winery.
So the Flamingos 242 is a club that's just starting out, and it's mostly for ladies. And we're trying to get more women involved in the sport of golf. And so we're trying to do activities to get them involved, such as a lot of people are afraid because they don't know about it. They've only seen it on TV. So we're trying to do little sessions to get them into it. So there's golf clinics that we're doing on Saturdays and Sundays, and people are coming out and they're finding they're enjoying it a lot. They love being outdoors, a little bit of exercise, and so it's coming together. It's a long time coming, and it's slow coming, but we'd like to do it properly.
For Campbell, she says the club is definitely doing its part to grow the sport among ladies in the country.
Well, as I said, we're still very new, but everyone I've seen in the club is very interested in helping each other and definitely interested in bringing others in. And hopefully we're going to be able to get the younger golfers in. There is a junior program as it is, but there's not really a ladies program. And so we feel that once we get in there, and we've been supporting the men forever, and there is the knowledge there, there's just not the opportunity. And so we're hoping to be able to bring the opportunity together, and so that not only will women, but we'll be able to bring the younger golfers in as well, the ones that aren't in the junior program.
In other news, well, we are a few weeks out from both the swimming and track and field nationals, but before then, all athletes must be given the okay to compete, and this is where the Bahamas Anti-Doping Commission comes in. Executive Director Petra Haven.
So every year we have aquatics nationals and we also have athletics nationals, and we do conduct testing at both of those events. So right now we're just in the middle of preparations for conducting testing at those events. And in addition to testing, we also conduct educational sessions prior to, and now this year we want to be able to host educational sessions at the actual event. So this is where we talk with parents, we talk with athletes or just event attendees, and we let them know about the dangers of doping and also why it's good to participate in clean sports.
Now, how they plan to go about doing the testing.
So it's actually randomly selected, and there is no prior notice for the testing. So athletes are aware that testing is going to happen, but they're not aware of who's going to happen until they're actually selected at the event for testing. So our athletes have actually been very good with compliance in reference to registering with the Anti-Doping Commission, submitting their whereabouts, and actually submitting themselves to, or subjecting themselves to testing. So we haven't had any issues or major issues over the last, I'll say 2 years. So our athletes are doing really, really well. And I can tell you that the Bahamas Anti-Doping Commission is extremely proud of them for doing this, because we've worked tirelessly and effortlessly around the clock to ensure that our athletes have all of the information that they need and they understand the ramifications of not subjecting themselves to testing or also submitting their whereabouts.
In flag football news on the men's side, the Seven Seas Predators have been the standard thus far this season. With only one game remaining, the team remains unbeaten to this point. Head coach Radley Knowles on how they've maintained success.
Well, we've been blessed to have a great season so far. We've been putting in the work, putting in the practice, coming out, and it's going very well. We have one continuation game to go. That'll be the pendant game between the Predators and the Avengers. But yeah, we've been keeping at it, keeping the intensity up, keeping the guys motivated. So looking forward to a great postseason.
Also undefeated on the ladies' side is the Paradise Game Wildcats. For their signal caller Dwight Marshall, he's in letting this team's regular season success get to their heads.
Yeah, it's still a game. When it all boils down to it, they still got to lace up their cleats and come out here and execute plays. It's about the execution, and the postseason, we forget about what we did in the regular season because it's a new season. Play against what's in front of you. Hopefully we'll get this bye going into the postseason. So we're looking at 2 games. Whoever we play first is going to be a tough team because it's a playoff team, and obviously you make it a championship. These are the 2 best teams. So you use that same approach. You deal with what's right in front of you and forget about the records. It's still a game. We have some injuries, some nagging injuries, but everybody does. So it's no excuse. Players have to play to it because other players are playing to it. You deal with it. You have 2 more games in the postseason, and you have the whole off season to recover. So whatever aches and pains you feel, you have to ignore that, fight through that, and the toughest teams are the ones that come out on top.
And that's been a look at sports on this holiday. I'm Amajal Knowles. A quick check on weather is up next.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.